everybody, this is Tara Bennett Smith here with Being Bigger, Badder, Bolder, and Better. I got a chance to see Bad Boys. And let me tell you, I thoroughly laughed and it made me cry a little bit, not in the negative sense, but a good feeling sense of a friendship. I cried a little bit when I thought about Will's character and his son, how that love was so strong, even though there was so much resistance initially. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is parenting and how hard and challenging that beast can be. There's no real manual. It's just a bunch of people with their own opinions on how this thing is done. One of the things I will say that I've learned from parenting 3 and 2 at one time, because I had a set of twin boys, how important it was for me to really look at them as individuals. It's very hard when you get twins that, for people to not cross the line and say, well, he's already walking. When are you going to walk? Or your brother's already doing this. When are you going to do that? And I had to halt it. I said, you know what? They're individuals. They just happen to come at the same time, but they came with their own things to do and learn and be. So when I looked at Will Smith's son, and I remember the movie prior to this one, and I thought about how he met his son, and how the mother was, I guess, reluctant to even telling the son who his father was, and obviously did not tell Will's character either. And the damage that causes in a person when we are not open and honest to the degree that we can be, that is age appropriate, of course, but we're open and honest, because the damage that it does down the line. That's why people are laying on couches today. That's why so many adults are laying on couches today, or holding all of that stuff in, because the lack of honesty, the lack of transparency. And I think, when we look at a parent like that, or any parent who decides, I'm going to pin you against your father, I'm going to pin you against your mother, I'm going to, only share negativity, I'm not going to give you an opportunity to learn who that person is. Really? That's saying a lot about you as an individual, that you're so broken inside, that you have not healed your own trauma, that you're now passing down the trauma to this child. This child has an opportunity and has a right to experience both people who brought him into this world, so to speak. And I think that what made me tear up about the movie was, you see Will's character working overtime to do whatever he needed to do to protect his son. So I think as parents, what I have learned raising my kids is that age-appropriate honesty helped to forge a relationship where it came back to me, where they were also honest and open with me. And some people will tell me, I remember one time I mentioned something about my children and what they were not doing, and I was telling a woman who had sons, and she literally went like, yeah, right. Because she could not fathom that I had that type of relationship with my boys. It's like, but I do. And I did. And I still do. And they're 25 now. But because I fostered honesty, and I fostered communication, and I fostered, you come to me, I come to you. We're humans. We're all moving through this journey. And sometimes I may get it right, and sometimes I may not. But that doesn't mean I don't owe you the most I can give you, which would be honesty and trust and forthcoming, to give you an opportunity to grow and learn and decide, make decisions as you get older from the truth, and not from my pain or my lack of, or my blocks that, So I would say, after watching that movie, Bad Boys, and I watched how Will Smith navigated that character, if we can all take a little something from that. Because I remember another friend of mine telling me how his young son, he wasn't speaking to his 13-year-old son because his son did something that he did not like. Now, I'm not going to go into what it is, but I will tell you this. The thing that he did was, the child had to make a decision between the mother and the father did not like the decision the child made. Why would you ever put your child in a position to choose between a parent? unless the parent is abusing them, and then you step in on another level. But if not, why would you think a child has the wherewithal to choose to hurt a parent, and then when they don't choose you, get mad at the child and say, I'm not talking to my child? So who's really the child here? Who's really dealing with a lot of pain and a lot of past hurt? I'd say the adult. So what do? We pass that same behavior down to our children, you know? So one of the things I like to say about this movie, was really cool to see how Will Smith's character navigated getting the trust and the love that he knew his son deserved to have from him, giving that. And then eventually, like most of us, we get enough love, we're going to succumb to it. So I would say if there's a parent out there who's really keeping a child or children from another parent, really rethink that, because the harm is only on the child. You know, it's only on your child. Every child should have an opportunity to know both parents for themselves, not based on the relationship you had with the other parent, but know both of them. And of course, if the child is being abused verbally, emotionally, any of that way, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when the parents are loving and wants to see their children, and you know deep down that this is a good parent. Don't make up stories. And I've been through that. Don't make up stories why you've kept them away. So now you're not even basing anything on the truth. So make sure that if you have a child and you can foster a relationship with both parents, it's really, really important. I would suggest that be done. Thank you for tuning in.